He's got that crackhead energy. Okay, I don't know why we're watching this. Don't you dare cross yellow line. Good one. Destiny, is this child abuse? Why would his desk even be there? What do you mean, why would the desk be there? It's in a protected area. It's surrounded by a yellow dotted line. You fucking retard.
This morning, a Colorado school bus driver under fire, facing 30 counts of child abuse, accused of intentionally stopping his school bus short, according to the school and court records, to teach the elementary school kids on his bus a lesson about staying in their seats.
You guys want to see how dangerous that is? Do you get that? That's why you need to be in your seat. Turn around and sit down properly.
I thought he was gonna like slam his brakes and kids were gonna go flying. I would totally do this. I do this to Nathan. Absolutely. He wanted to start. I remember when he wanted to start riding in the front seat or whatever. I wish it was in my car because a rental car you can't do it as fast. I remember when he riding in the front seat. He would because kids don't want to put the strap on. And I'm like, Nathan, you got to put the strap on. He's like, why, Dad? He's like, that's why. And he didn't hit the dashboard. But it's like kids learn through experience. Or stepping on a shoelace. I always used to do that. I would step on his shoelaces if he'd walk around with his shoes untied. I'm like, Nathan, you're gonna trip. He's like, no, I'm not. Like, yeah, you are because I'm gonna trip you. And anytime he's walking near me with his shoelaces untied, I step on his shoelaces. Tie your fucking shoes.
Do that, you will get written up. Do you get that?
The 61-year-old driver, Brian Fitzgerald, who was going about 9 miles an hour, was fired. The kids.
9 miles an hour? Bro! I guess, like, the way that I see it... No, man, I don't know. Never mind. Fuck, hold on. I'm trying to think if my age is showing. Am I out of touch? If you got into a real accident, it would be way more severe than that. You learn through experience. Nobody's getting hurt. It's 9 miles an hour. You stop. Whatever, it happens. You get thrown a little bit. You're like, okay, fuck. I guess that's why you do it. Now you learn. Okay, fuck me.
Turn around and sit down.
5 kids were injured and 1 with a concussion? Wait, really?
If you guys can't do that, you will get written up. Do you get that?
The 61-year-old
Or did somebody just make shit
Brian
up?
Fitzgerald, who was going about 9 miles an hour, was fired. The kids shaken.
My son came tearing through the door that afternoon. He sprinted all the way home. He was out of breath and red-faced and absolutely sobbing and shaking.
What? Nathan, sit in your fucking seat then. What?
He was terrified.
The Douglas County School District releasing a
sobbing and shaking? These kids are like 10 years old. If that, they look like they're not even. They're not old enough to be that big of a pussy yet. How is that even possible?
If you guys can't do that,
Are they 5 to 7?
Written up. Do you get that?
The 61-year-old driver, Brian Fitzgerald, who was going about 9 miles an hour, was fired. The kids shaken.
My son came tearing through the door that afternoon.
I'm just trying to think of. I feel like, but I see, because I could just be shading this through my own fucking thing. I feel like we would just laugh. I feel like this happened to me when I was in grade school. I feel like we would laugh, and we might call the bus driver crazy. Would we actually be like crying, like, oh no? I don't think so. There's always going to be like 1 or 2 of those kids. I feel like I did so much retarded shit as a kid. You do so much crazy shit. It's like part of...
Sprinted all the way home. He was out of breath and red-faced and absolutely sobbing and shaking. He was terrified.
The Douglas County School District releasing a statement saying the behavior and actions of this bus driver are completely unacceptable. Fitzgerald did not respond to ABC News, but in a letter he sent to the school that was obtained by KRDO, he apologized for his actions, saying, "If I were able to redo what I did, I would rethink my decisions." He is due in court in May. Guys?
He's actually charged with 30 counts of child...
All right, Rhiannon and Allie, thank you.
Child abuse? Is that what they said?
This morning, a Colorado school bus driver under fire, facing 30 counts of child abuse, accused of intentionally stopping his school bus short, according to the school and court records, to teach the elementary school kids on his bus a lesson about staying in their seats.
You guys want to see how dangerous that is?
Here's the speed. It's right here. 9 miles per hour.
Do you get that? That's why you need to be in your seat. Turn around.
If this happened to Nathan and he got a concussion, how would you react? Am I an asshole? If it happened to Nathan and he got a concussion, the thing that I would think, the first thought I would think is, you're lucky it was the school bus driver fucking with you and it wasn't an actual accident, because you'd probably be dead. I guess that's because, like, it could be. Like, what if he actually did get in an accident? What if he was going like 25 or 30 or 45 or 50 and he got in an accident, right? But nobody got a concussion here. Now, if the school bus driver was slamming the brakes at like 30 miles an hour, okay, yeah, we got... Can't you not sense this guy's doing this out of anger and has the audacity to do this with a bus full of kids? It's the same as those cops going ham with a gun to teach someone a lesson. I mean, like, it's hard to get control over... I remember we had one bus driver. I don't remember his fucking name. But every time we knew some shit was up, because you're not really watching what's going on. When you're on a school bus, you're talking to kids, you're blah, blah, blah. And every now and then you notice, like, oh shit, we've been stopped for a minute. And what would happen is sometimes the school bus driver would stop and he would get up and then we'd all look and he'd like walk back and like, why aren't you in your seat? You need to blah, 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 blah. And I'm going to tell the principal and blah, 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 blah. And then he'd walk back like, oh shit, somebody's in trouble for not being in their seat. Wait, fuck, what was this in response to? I'm sorry. Oh, in terms of like managing, it's hard to manage a bus full of kids. I don't know. Fuck. Is that really... It's 9 miles per hour. Is it that big of a deal? I think the issue is the only legal person who can hurt children are the parents. I think they're mainly angry about the bus driver stealing rights from parents. My bus driver would be like, you know, I can smell the weed back there, knock it off. I only rode the school bus in grade school. Nobody was smoking weed in 8th grade where I was from. School bus drivers are the only ones that get bullied by kids and aren't allowed to do anything about it. Are they expecting to put on every child's seatbelt? School buses generally don't have seatbelts. Or none that I've been on. Sorry, I don't know if that's changed or whatever. I just think it's wild that the mom was like, he ran home shaking.
If you guys can't...
The door that afternoon. He sprinted all the way home. He was out of breath and red-faced and absolutely sobbing and shaking.
Like, how is your child this big of a pussy already? Like, that's an impressive amount of bitchiness, of bitch-tittedness at this early of an age. I feel like kids are like falling off bikes, climbing on shit they shouldn't be, falling around on playgrounds, hurting themselves like all the time. He might be 5 years old. I don't think a 5-year-old can hold a bad thought about getting hurt in their head for more than 3 minutes. You fall, you get scraped, you get hurt, and then you run up and you're doing shit again. No? Oh fuck, my brain I just might be primed really hardcore in the other direction. I don't know. This is wild to me. Jesus. I do feel like the litigation shit, though, is probably crazy. It's probably really scary. But people must have always sued people, right? I'm trying to think. I feel like it didn't happen as much when I was a kid. But I bet it did. Maybe I just didn't notice it. But like,
GG, all white people happy.
I feel like in my time, like kids would get hurt like playing basketball or playing kickball, like on the playground, like it would happen. But I wonder if today if teachers are scared because they're gonna get like sued or some shit. I'm not sure. I don't know. I really just don't know. That's wild to me. Jesus. School bus 23 that have TVs that are playing Subway Surfers 24/7. Destiny, there weren't that many cameras around back in the day. Our school bus had a camera on it, I remember. I don't know how, but it was a big rectangular box, and it just had like a shiny coated like reflective surface on it. And then like a red light. I don't know what kind of camera it was, but our school buses had cameras. That was back in 95, 96, whenever I would have been in first, second grade. Oh, I remember that. Yeah, I don't know how those were cameras. I wonder if we could find it. Old, big school bus cameras. It wasn't a camera, it was just a fake. Maybe. What were these things? Oh. No. He's annoying because he realized if he went just a tiny bit different and that innocent kid jammed his eye, he'd have a 180 take Destiny pussy. What are we spamming about? Yo, but the kid, there's a mouse pencil's hand. What if it was jammed into his face or some shit when he slammed that brake, even at that speed? Oh, you should have been sitting in your seat, dumb fuck. Are there other forms of in-school corporal punishment you're okay with? No, I mean, I'm not a fan of like corporal punishment at all, like hitting kids and stuff. I think this, like, it very quickly and very concisely to every single student on the bus demonstrates why it's important to sit in your seat. Des, you're just wrong on this. Fuck off. Yeah, I might be. I come from a different time. Okay, we were built different back then. We learned through experience. Okay, y'all are fucking pussies. All right, I stand by that. Fuck you. Did you do the thing where you would jump and it would go over speed bumps so you would go flying? I feel like I remember that, but now I don't know if I'm inventing that memory. Because when it was bumping, if you jumped at the right time, you'd go super, super, super high. But how would you know? I feel like that sounds fake, because how would you know when the bumps are coming? Maybe when you're just driving on a bumpy road? Or maybe I did that later in life or something. I don't know. Why don't school buses have seatbelts? How is that safe? I think the rationale, I remember asking this as a grade school student because I was always curious about that. So I don't know if this is true or if this is just some shit they told kids. But what we were told as kids was buses are so big that like the idea that you're going to need a seatbelt to hold you in place or whatever is probably not going to be the case. They're huge. It's not going to go from like 50 to 0. You're not crashing on the interstate if you like generally. So it's not like a big, and then cars hitting you aren't going to have that big of an effect. So that's like that's what we were told as kids. I don't know if it's true or not, but. Also, are the backs of airplanes bumpier than the fronts?